Get ready to rock and roll. So today I want to talk about 4 tips to help to instantly deliver your talk with confidence. Now, I deliver a lot of talks and I think I look pretty calm and grounded and completely in control most of the time. The thing is, I often feel quite nervous to this day. I still get butterflies in my stomach before I have to speak in public. So in this session today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I look so confident and how you can also look confident on stage, even if you are feeling a little bit nervous on the inside. So I used to fall apart when I was speaking in public. In fact, I had anxiety that was so crippling that it basically hijacked my body every time I had to speak in public. And some of the physical symptoms were my hands and my legs would shake really badly, and my voice, my vocal cords would get really dried out and compressed because I'd be panting and almost hyperventilating, which meant that my voice really shrank down and it was tiny. And to sort of offset the fact that my vocal cords had dried out, my armpits decided to help out and become incredibly sweaty, as did my top lip. So it was a really attractive look, and it made me feel awful knowing how terrible I looked actually standing up there physically. As well as that anxiety, I know I was boring. I was really not great at engaging the audience, and people were polite enough at the end, but the applause was more about thank God she's finished than that was an interesting session. Because I knew that I needed to try and engage the audience more, what I would do is to try and make eye contact. But I either kind of avoided eye contact altogether because I didn't want people to look at me, or I'd find that one slightly friendly face in the crowd and I'd just it was like a staring competition. I wouldn't take my eyes off them and I rarely blinked. So that made them feel really uncomfortable and it dried out my irises as well. So eye contact was something that was not working for me. And just to make the whole thing a buffet of fabulousness, I used to have this self-soothing thing I would do where I would rock from side to side. And as you can see me doing this, you can see that's really off-putting. Sometimes it makes people seasick. So on the whole, I looked physically incredibly nervous. Now, if you do want to learn more about looking confident on stage, you can find this full confidence blueprint free in the course section. So if you're not already doing that, make sure you're jumping into that, please. And if you are watching the recording, click on the link in the description and it will take you to it. So now I'm going to share with you 4 habits that actually changed everything for me. The first one is having a strong opening line. A lot of times when I hear people speak, I hear them start with thank you for introducing me. I'd like to thank my mum, my dad, my dog, the cat, my neighbour, and by this stage the audience has gone to sleep. So when you start, what I find works really well is to deliver this incredibly powerful opening line. And you might start with something like, before I say anything today, I want to share with you one thing that totally changed my life forever. The first words that come out of our mouths are the things that are either going to capture attention and make us look really interesting or turn our audience off. And if you are looking out at the audience, even if it's only with one eyeball from your notes, and you can see people who are looking interested, that makes us feel more confident. But if you look out from your talk and you see people playing on their phones or talking to their neighbours, it just makes us feel worse. So start with a strong opening line. And when we're using eye contact to try and engage our audience, rather than that, death stare on one person, just look from side to side across the room. And you don't have to linger on any one person, but you just move your eyes from side to side. You don't even have to focus on them. Just the movement of using your eyes like this helps people feel like you're concentrating on them, which will make them concentrate on you. To help stop that swaying, which either we do because we're self-soothing, or mums do this a lot, I've noticed, because when we're rocking our children to start to settle them, we do this. And you sometimes find yourself doing this in a supermarket or a public place without a child and you're still rocking. Those sorts of behaviors can make us look really nervous. So instead, what I what I find works is you kind of plant your feet, both feet on the ground at the same time. Don't have one hip cocked up in the air because that throws you off balance, but have both your feet planted and move your torso, so shoulders to hips, but keep your legs still. That keeps you grounded and keeps the blood flowing through your body, which can help stop those shakes as well. The last thing is to end strong, because for those of you who don't know, I'm a trained teacher, and the laws of adult learning state that people remember best what they hear first and last. So the thing that you say first in your strong opening and the thing that you say last in your strong close are what make people remember you in a good way, not the sweat and the dry mouth. So have a strong ending, have a final line that lands your message with impact. So for example, in the talk that I did just recently to a group of business women where I was talking about business body language blunders, my last line was a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt, which goes like this: "Remember that nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent." I said thank you, and that was the end of the talk. So that is an example of how to use a strong ending. So once I learned these 4 tips, this is what happened. I became much calmer. I felt much more in control, even when I was nervous. I knew if I kept my feet still and if I started with a strong line that I'd memorized so I could easily call it up, those kinds of anxiety moments became less and less, at least on the outside, and my ability to appear confident increased. I also got invited to speak at more and more events, and there are events that I speak at every year. I'm invited back every year because I do come across as this interesting, engaged speaker. And now I deliver workshops and presentations like this one, weekly, online, and on stage. And I'm hoping you guys are going to agree with me that you stay pretty engaged from the start to the finish. But the most important change for me was that I actually do enjoy speaking now. If you had said that to me when I first started out speaking, I would have said, hell no, that is not going to ever be the case. So if you're on this call and you've come in a little later and you don't already know, you have access to this full free confidence blueprint program inside the course section of the community. And if you are watching it later on YouTube or in another platform, there's a link in the description so that you can get the course as well. So to sum it all up for you, 4 tips to help you appear confident on stage. It's one of those fake it till you make it scenarios. You can look confident before you feel confident. And once you look confident, it translates into feeling confident. It's like this transformation that happens. Once I stopped keeping my feet still and stopping the rocking motion, I immediately felt calmer in my body. If we start strong, stand strong, and finish strong, then the audience sees somebody who looks confident, calm, and in control. Having eye contact, grounding, and a deliberate opening or closing can instantly change how the audience sees us. So those are the lessons that I have learnt.